Well, my friends, family, esteemed colleagues, a request came for me to talk a little bit about cholestasis and bile reflux. Now, these two things are just the opposite. Okay, but very often people suffer from both at the same time. Now, how is that possible? Well, because, as I have explained, that all our health problems come out from the toxic blood, toxic mind. And toxic blood always involves poisoning. And poisoning can be done through air, water, food. So a lot of it comes through our digestive processes. And now this topic is based on problems with the bile flow and combined with disorder in the digestive system. Reverse flow. Now, why does that happen? First, what is cholestasis? Cholestasis is when something is preventing proper flow of the secretion of bilirubin, biliverdin, into the gallbladder and from a gallbladder into the duodenum, the small intestine. So if something interrupts the flow, then comes to oversaturation, leaks into the blood, and the excess of it is then being cleansed through the kidneys. But at the same time, we can see signs of jaundice. So first, the eyes become yellowish, and then even the skin, the liver definitely, and then the skin all become yellowish green because you have involved bilirubin and biliverdin. Now, this obstruction of the flow of the bile could be done by, let's say, stones formation, but stone being blocking the passage. Could be from inflammation. So the problems can be done in the liver itself or further in a duct. Bile, when it's being produced, it goes into a little storage bin, bile bladder, and then from there overflows into bile duct going down to the small intestine. So you can have blockage anywhere from a liver to the intestine or within the liver itself. Within the liver mostly is inflammation, but also very often you can have inflammation being made on the orifices where the bile duct joins the intestine. Remember, everywhere where there is necessary control, there are sphincter muscles that they close. So we have a sphincter muscles on the stomach. One of them prevents the content of stomach going back into esophagus, back into your throat. And this muscle, this sphincter, we call hiatus, hiatal muscle, okay? It's right here on the chest area. And then On the bottom side, there is a pylorus and pyloric sphincter, which closes. Why is that necessary? Because proper operation of our stomach is when we eat meat, then stomach fills with hydrochloric acid, stomach acid, to then decomposes the protein, breaks it down into amino acids. And then from there, first it has to get neutralized, because this is why the sphincter is not allowing the acidic content to go into intestines, which are neutral. Okay, could be even slightly alkaline, but basically neutral. So acidic content would burn. You see, stomach is protected with from these acids with the stomach lining, which produces the acid and at the same time produces alkaline protector. Okay, so when you take a neutral, some neutral component, pH 7, and now you are producing something acidic that goes up to pH 2, at the same time you have to produce the equal amount of alkalinity, because together it makes neutral. So the lining also produces sodium bicarbonate, which stays in the lining, protecting the stomach muscle from the acid, so it doesn't decompose the stomach itself. And as digestion is finishing, now the alkalinity from the membrane is seeping into the acidic content, neutralizing it. The pyloric sphincter stays closed, not allowing the acid content to come, because it is going to burn your intestines. So it has to be neutralized first. Once when it is neutralized, then pylorus opens and lets the flow coming into the intestines themselves, into duodenum, first part of the intestine, and there. Now in the duodenum, the first part of the small intestine, you have also what they call duodenal papilla. It's basically a connector where you have a bile duct joining into the duodenum, and again, wherever it joins, the orifice has a sphincter, has a muscle that controls the opening, and in this way it controls the flow of the bile coming in. If the sphincter stays closed, bile cannot flow, it builds up, and we can feel it, we can see it as cholestasis. Okay, so you may not have any growth. It basically, the sphincter stayed closed. Now, why? Most commonly, cause is inflammation. It is inflamed. Now, why would it be inflamed? Because the cells in it are very acidic. So first comes inflammation, and if we neglect it, or if we treat it with anti-inflammatories, then the problem becomes much stronger, because now the muscle itself is going to start becoming brittle. It cannot hold electric charge, it loses tension, it cannot even close properly, and now you can have a bigger flow going out, uncontrollable flow going out of bile, making your feces very dark, because a lot of biliverdin gets released. But what happens whenever you have these problems? If you have a problem with the sphincter of the bile duct, well, the same cause toxic blood, cellular acidity. It is going to be affecting your sphincter in pylorus and also the sphincter of hiatus. Actually, we are always aware when a problem is with the sphincter of hiatus because we have a reflux. Acid comes in our throat, it burns. Fortunately, people that suffer from this, they have this because of a wrong diet, and the content of the stomach is never really so acidic because they eat incorrectly. They eat veggies, okay, so they never have proper acidity, so it's diluted mild acid, but even that burns like hell when it comes into the throat. So what is the procedure? Well, alkalize the area. Either give pills that will prevent production of stomach acid, which is really, really stupid. Any doctor that does this, I don't want to be cruel, don't have him shot, stretch him by his balls, because this is really destroying the body. Or milder way is, baking soda in water, and drinking, sodium bicarbonate. But we have to be aware, when you do this, you are really making your stomach ineffective. It cannot digest anything. Now, if we are vegans or vegetarians, we really do not need the acidic stomach because we need only to process fats and protein. For this we need, and not in all the fats, basically cholesterol fats. They are mostly in the muscle tissue because cholesterol creates the cellular membranes. Now, very often people suffer from reflux and then they are focusing on this. They are not even realizing that if this is the problem, but you will have problem on the lower muscle also, which is on the pyloric sphincter. And maybe overly acidic stuff. It's not very acidic because you're eating incorrectly, so same as you are not really being, your esophagus is not being digested because you don't have the proper acidity, but still uncomfortable. The same acidity may be leaking down the pyloric sphincter. They are not going to be affected the same way, but if you are suffering chronically from reflux, you may be sure that pyloric sphincter is being affected greatly. And it's going to start leaking because when sphincter muscle loses tension, it cannot contract completely and it leaks. And if you have overly acidic stuff leaking from the stomach through pylorus into duodenum and further into your intestines, you are going to have a problem. Celiac disease. Okay? Simple. The whole duodenum, the whole beginning of the small intestine tract is going to be affected. It is going to start to inflame, to try to deal with this stuff, producing extra mucus, trying to figure out how to protect itself. So those are things that doctors never think about because, number one, they do not even understand what is causing this problem with reflux. So they always treat the acid, lower the acid, not the muscle. Because we are told when body starts falling apart, there is no way to put it back together. It's symptom of aging. You are 30 years old. You are old. Stupidity, plain stupidity. So, if you have these problems, there won't be much longer when you start having problem with incontinence, and you won't be able to control your bladder, and you're going to be urinating because your sphincter has a problem. Your plumbing is kaput. So soon after that, you won't be able to hold your stool. So you start staining. All caused by the same problem, and all non-curable if you ask your doctor. Well, it is not so. Yeah, you don't want to cure it, you want to heal it. And healing is on a cellular level. So again, you have to, number one, clean the blood. So your cells, your receptor, cellular membrane receptor, allows hydration by utilizing osmotic system. And as soon as you start hydrating on a cellular level, the cells start throwing out the surplus of acids. Your blood becomes extremely polluted. So everything, the whole system shuts down until the blood gets cleansed again. So it's a come and go problem, tuck, 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 little by little. Unfortunately, when it starts, first time, we are always overly toxic. So when this starts first time, then even the small amount of toxicity that was released in a first shot increases the blood's toxicity in such a strong level that alarm switch goes off. So your blood circulation has to speed up for the cleansing to be faster, which means your heart rate increases, your blood pressure goes up. And then since you are very toxic at this moment, because your blood became very toxic, you are not going to cleanse only through kidneys, but through kidneys, mucosal tissue, and the skin. So you start sweating, you get fever. So all kinds of stuff can happen when a high toxicity appears in the blood all of a sudden. Now, people that chronically suffer either from reflux, they now have a third disease, and they call it bile reflux. Okay. Bile reflux. Why bile reflux? Because now you may even vomit. Okay, reflux, it goes and then you vomit it, and you vomit yellow or green coming out from actually your duodenum. It's not from your stomach. When you vomit yellowish or green substance, this is not from the stomach. This came already from duodenum. Now, how can the pyloric muscle now not close and not prevent the content from intestines to go into stomach? Because it doesn't work. Okay, it's dehydrated, which means it loses tension. Big problems in the whole digestive tract, in the whole intestinal system could be chronic because you are not closing the pyloric sphincter. And because it doesn't come up, it may not necessarily come through into your esophagus, just leaking downwards. And you become overly acidic. So it changes also your flora. And taking probiotics is not going to help absolutely nothing. This is waste of money and waste of the time. And all these supplement pushers, they should be attacked the same way as a big pharma, because they are completely on the wrong track. They're using the stupid things, truths that we are being told by the lying medical council of Rockefeller medicine, and they are not resolving and solving anything. We feel better because we have placebo effect. Or we are, again, mingling with symptoms. We are not actually improving on anything. We are not doing any kind of a healing. So the situation is really very simple, although it appears to be very complex. If we want to heal from this, again, self-healer's protocol, because it does the basic, fundamental, very extremely important things. One is proper hydration of your blood. So the blood contains the proper levels of plasma, which means it has enough water. So then cleansing can be done, cleansing of the blood through cleansing organs. And then when blood gets cleaner, now hydration on a cellular level starts. But again, you cannot hydrate on cellular level if you have the wrong food, especially plant food, because it's toxic. And these microtoxins, they will affect your cells. Cells will not want to hydrate. They actually make their membranes dense. So even the regular flow is not getting in. You have to get those toxins away. How you get them away? Stop eating the vegetables. Simple. Yeah, I know this seems radical, because we have been duped into believing that vegetables are our correct diet. And obviously they are not. Now, why is obvious? Because you don't need any expert or anybody to provide you with something so then you can heal yourself. You just have to start eating correctly. It's as simple as that. And Self-Healer's protocol leads you there. It tells you exactly how to hydrate and what to eat. So you shift the environment in your body. You realign your genetic expression in the way it should be, and you achieve healing on a cellular level, on a level of the body, on energetic vibrational level. As you can see, no matter what disease we are talking about, we are coming back to the same basic truths. And the same basic truth, it's not multiple, it's only one single truth that exists. There are multiple versions of not truth, lies, but truth has only one version. There is only one type of food we should eat to be healthy. There is only one type of salt that we need to be healthy. And this is sea salt. Not refined, not manipulated, freshly harvested sea salt. No other salt comes close. And table salt is plain poison, designed specially that then we can see, oh, salt is bad for us. You put salt, you feel bad, oh, it's salt. No, it's not salt. It is the toxic garbage that they call table salt. It's manufactured stuff. A lot of caking compounds, anti-caking compounds in it, including aluminum oxide. Poison, which we have in all the packaged foods. All commercial stuff you buy has this kind of a crap in it. Of course, you're going to be sick, and then salt is blamed on it. Salt, the only source for minerals that we have are animal-based products, because animals cannot live unless they are properly mineralized. So when you eat meat, animal products, you are getting your salt. This is why carnivores do not need salt beds. But herbivores, they all need it. All of them. Without salt, this is why farmers, they have to buy salt to give to the sheep, to goats, cows, even to horse. Otherwise, they get sick. They don't need to give it to the dog or cat, even though dogs should take it, because we are brainwashed into feeding them with a stupid packaged product, which is basically carbohydrate based on veggies, okay? Mostly soy. The little better quality is based on rice. And now they have the super expensive based on legumes, which is actually the most toxic one, because legumes are packed with phytotoxins. So we have to start learning the truth. Otherwise, we are falling down. Now we are the sickest generation. When I look at the youngsters, they are all fat. You don't know for a guy if it's a guy or a girl. A hormonal screw up. It's all through incorrect diet. So if you have problems with your bile, any way you want, if it's cholestasis or if it's bile reflux, it's all the same protocol. You gotta cleanse, hydrate, cleanse to be able to heal. And without changing your diet, kiss it goodbye. You can't do it. Supplements, nonsense. I did not have one single case yet that somebody needed supplementing after they went through the basic protocol. Not one. Many ask, very often they say, oh, Darko, but I feel energetic, everything is fine, but I feel like lethargic when I want to watch TV, and then I start sleeping if I want to read a book. Well, because you are still in hydration and cleansing process. As soon as your energy is not needed for anything else, body goes into cleansing. Now, yes, you can stop this cleansing process by poisoning yourself. So take spirulina, put it in your stuff. There are all kinds of energetic supplements based on plants, mosses, that will stop cellular hydration, and you will feel energetic as soon as that happens. But remember, your cells are starting to protect themselves from this garbage. They are thickening their membranes, and you are going to have chronic problems. And usually you started the protocol because you had those problems. Now you feel good and you think, okay, now I can do whatever I want. You start feeling good not because you are clean. You start feeling good because body does not have to remind you that you have to change something, otherwise you are destroying the body. So you are providing the stuff that the body needs, so it is not going to bother you. And you feel you live very healthy, vibrant life. The only thing is that it's continuing to cleanse on a cellular level, which means blood has to also cleanse. And It needs energy for this. So, energy distribution. First, searching for food. So as long as you are busy doing something, you have all the energy you need. You don't feel tired. After that is digestion. Okay, you brought in food. Okay, now let me have it, let me digest, let me put this stuff into the body. And after digestion, if you don't go back to working, even during the digestion, you may start feeling tired because energy is pumped there. 40% of your energy goes right there into your digestive system. And after that, if you continue sitting down, or if you work a little bit and then you sit down, then again, cells are waiting to see, okay, what came from your hunt. If nothing came and energy is there, bingo, let's use it. Let's go into cleansing, hydration and cleansing. Now, if you prevent hydration and cleansing because you have a toxic elements in the blood, then this energy now is there, not being used. So you feel energetic. You feel, oh, okay, no, I can read. I'm not sleeping. This really gives me energy. It doesn't give you, it's poisoning you, preventing your body to work correctly. So you have leftover energy for your stupid reading. Why stupid? Because hydration is more important. And if something is really so important for you to read, well, then concentration turns into work, and now you are gathering information. So you are actively participating, energy goes there, you are fine. It's only reading stupidities, watching movies, that are not engaging enough. It makes you sleepy. Books, they're not engaging enough, make you sleepy. If you read something very engaging, you are like in hunt mode. You're not sleeping. We have to learn how to run this robot. This is why my book, the first one I wrote, was called The Owner's Manual for the Human Body, because we don't know anything about our body. What we are being told is all baloney. It's not true. We have to learn how the robot actually functions and what to provide the robot with so it can function. Do the basic maintenance through hydration, the providing of nutrition, and allowing cleansing. Body does everything. We just have to provide the correct stuff. Thank you for listening. Love you all.